Hey, unless we had a storm or something, we'd keep it going.
All right, item D, wastewater treatment at Nantahala.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, have Mr. Gibbs and Mr. Fay here with us tonight. If any of you aren't aware, I think that we can all safely say that the wastewater treatment facility that is currently being used by the Nantahala School is in need of repair, a complete overhaul, if you will, and Mr. Gibbs has found a way to accomplish this through grant funding, through a CDBG grant. And as he was going through that process, Mr. Fay from the county has been through that process many times. It's what he does there in the housing department, and he has worked with Mr. Gibbs to get this ready to go. And at this time, I'll just ask Mr. Gibbs to fill us in on what's going on, the grant, what it's going to do for Nantahala, and what is going to be required of this board.
Yes, sir. The community development block grants are federal money. These infrastructure grants are being administered by the state. You can correct me anytime if I don't get this right. He's got a whole lot more experience than I do. Went to a meeting in Winston-Salem a couple of months ago, and the meeting involved Department of Environmental Natural Resources, talking about these grants. And in the audience were nothing but educational people, because these grants are aimed at infrastructure support for schools and school systems. I was working on it, had some questions on the application itself. 3 weeks ago, called Julie Kubetta, who was with Diener, and she said that really the counties, this is federal money, and really this money is awarded to counties, not to school systems. And my thought was, why didn't you tell us that 2 or 3 months ago? So then I reached out to Mr. Fay, Mr. Rowland, and they've been gracious enough to really help me through it. But Mr. Fay has much more experience, and he could probably talk about more of the requirements of the board than I could to make this happen.
This is not unlike the CDBG single-family rehabilitation program. And if you recall, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, the legislature took all that money away and put it into infrastructure. They no longer were they rehabbing houses. So as a result of that, they went into this wastewater and freshwater program, and they have a special section, CDBGI, that is for school systems. And basically, they can be pretty complicated in that Mr. Gibbs has already done a tremendous amount of work and collected this stuff and really kind of dotted the i's across the t's. But also, he's aware of what happens when dealing with these types of grants. You're exactly right. You find out about a lot of stuff afterwards. So I don't want to sit here and say that it's a smooth road all the way. So knowing that up front, the thing that I going through the application, I see that the board, and I'm not sure exactly because of the time constraints here, we're talking October 31st, the application has to be submitted. In order to do that, first off, the county really needs to, you all would need to officially assign somebody to represent the county. It'd have to be by proclamation. You'd have to vote on it and say, this particular person is going to be representing the county on this grant. From everything I've read, I don't think it has to be a county person. In other words, you could, from what I can gather, you could select Mr. Gibbs to continue on with the process and go through with it. But there needs to be official action taken on that. The other official action that needs to be taken with this grant is going to be officially adopting the results of the public hearing that's being held. Now, that's kind of hard to do in the public hearing. That's why Dr. Baldwin's not with us this evening. He's in Nantahala conducting the public hearing around this. Mr. Gibbs has informed them up there in the principal that of what the criteria needs to be covered to satisfy this grant application in this public hearing. So at some point in time, between now and October 31st, the board would need to adopt the minutes of that hearing that's being conducted. As far as official action, that's basically it. Sign somebody, select somebody that you want to complete the application and make application to the county, and then somewhere between now and the 31st, adopt the minutes of that public hearing that's taking place in Nantahala.
So the language you want to use, John, is to select someone to represent the GDBG
Yes, sir.
request? Is that how you want to put it, or?
What they're, if I can give you this language from here.
Why don't you come up to the podium, John?
It says, as authorized representative, he or she has been authorized to file this application by formal action of the governmental body.
So he's representing the county, or would it be you or Todd able to do that?
Actually, according to the way this thing is worded, and from what I've seen, you could have anybody that you wanted to.
Somebody know what they're doing.
Well, no, that probably not be a good idea.
So would it be you, John, that would carry the water on it, or who would carry the water on it?
Well, Todd has done all of the technical, and he's aware of the technical aspects. I'm aware of the
So
CDBG
you'd Scott
process.
him along.
Pardon?
You'd help him though.
Absolutely, yeah. Without a doubt.
This is just for the application for the grant.
This is the application for the grant.
This is the app-
And
you
grant-
want to do it?
Yes, sir, I will do that.
The application is everything.
Yeah, it's
It's
what
everything.
makes or breaks it.
As we well know.
That's it, yeah, I've been through that one.
He will, I mean, I don't want to say you go do it if you're not interested, but if you're interested, and
Yes,
that's
sir.
great, man, that's
We're applying for $200,000.
yeah.
And,
That's,
it's all grant, no match.
and the plant's gonna be replaced.
What you're saying is the grant application is not to be made by the school board, but instead the county.
The county is
Yes, sir.
eligible, whereas the school board itself is. They are eligible through us.
Is there any security that has to be given for the grant?
No security, the only thing I've seen is assurances. And that's it.
What do we need to do about the meeting?
So can we authorize, Mr. Turner, can we go ahead and approve those minutes that are taking place tonight, now? Why?
Can we vote
If you could show me what they are.
Well, that's pretty good idea what they are. Nantahala residents voiced their concern over the sewer plant and want to replace it.
Can we authorize the county manager to do that?
The problem is I've not even seen the grant application. I don't know if anybody.
If it says the
else
board has to vote on it, you
seen
better let the board vote on it. We know that from past experience.
That's exactly right. And one of the things
And
is
another
that,
thing I'm a little bit concerned about is again, I've not seen the grant package, but I'm a little bit concerned that if the entity applying for the grant is not the one that held the public hearing, I'm a little concerned there. It may not be a problem, but typically the entity applying for the grant holds the public hearing.
in all, from what I've been through, as far as all of the materials that they've made available to us for the application, they don't cover that. But there may be some legal issues as far as the actual federal government
And it
goes.
may not be a problem at all,
Right.
but I guess what I'm saying is the county might want to take a real quick look at that, because if there is a concern there, it sounds to me like we've got to get, we have to have.
So, Mr. Manager, you want to go ahead and do all we can do tonight and let the county attorney look at it, and then when we get the minutes, can we vote on them?
We'll vote on them by consensus and then ratify it at the November meeting. If we get a unanimous, can you send out an email poll to vote?
One of the things is,
There's not anything to vote on. There are no minutes
To
approve.
accept, when they become
When they
available,
become available.
can we can I send them to the board via email? And if,
What is the requirement of the grant?
Okay, the grant, as far as what we'll have to have, we're going to have documentation that shows from Mr. Decker that will show that there was a vote held and that they adopted those minutes from that public hearing.
There's no minutes.
Well, there will be minutes.
and designated
I mean,
county.
after not, there'll be minutes. And so can what Derek's asking, can he send those minutes out by email and let's vote on them?
You need to,
Before the 31st.
what I am saying to you is, first of all, there needs to be minutes. I don't know what the approval is. I mean, is the approval, what is the approval intended to be?
They put this in red in their information. And why they say adopted, I don't know, because it sounds like you're saying you agree with what's in there. And basically, the way I understand it is you're not agreeing, that you're just saying that, hey, we held a public hearing and what you've adopted
And
is
you
the
said you
framework.
didn't hold a public hearing. That's my first concern.
Well, let's see, it says a copy of the advertised notice, which Todd has, in the minutes of the public hearing adopted it says minutes of the public hearing adopted by the unit of general local government. So it's saying, it didn't say where those come from. It says the local government unit adopted those.
And they're having that meeting tonight.
Or you can,
They're having that meeting tonight.
yes, sir.
Right.
What if we,
That's what I'm thinking, is what I mean, typically, when you're sending in minutes of a public hearing that was required as part of the process, typically what you are saying is, this is what happened at that meeting. We're certifying that this is what happened at that meeting. We were there, this is what was said. This is a fair statement, if you will, of what happened at that meeting. Not anybody in this room that can say.
Let's do this if everybody's in agreement with it. I mean, this is $200,000 to replace this system. It's not going to require a match. I mean, it's a home run.
Right.
Why don't we let Chester review that grant application, review the public hearing, and see if that will see if that's going to hold up for this application. And between now and then, if we need to call another meeting before October 31st to approve those minutes, or if we need to set a public hearing before October 31st, or both, then we can do so at that time.
We have a problem if we do have to do another public hearing, we've got to hold the public hearing when we advertise it. You got 10 days, and that's got to happen within that time period. If not,
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about 21 days, so that's why I'm saying something needs to be looked at immediately.
right.
So if the board's in agreement, that would be what I would recommend to move forward.
so we'll just recess tonight's meeting. And then we may have to meet back.
Well, we'd have to-
adjourn.
You don't necessarily have to recess, it's what we can call a special
Yeah.
meeting, and we can address it in a special meeting if that's necessary.
All right.
Good job.
Well, you going to vote on Todd?
We'll have to do it all at one time.
Let's just do it.
I mean, you're going to have a meeting.
Well, why don't we go ahead and nominate?
Go ahead and vote on Todd.
Or does it have to be one action? I mean,
No.
do it.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the school board will be in favor of that as well?
Yes, sir, I would assume that also.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Congratulations, Todd.
Thank you. Thank you for.
It was real easy.
John.
Thank you I think for working together, I think that's a great, John, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for bringing,
Both of you.
I mean, you know the lick is done by.
We've done this radio before.
You've been down there, we've been down that road time too, you know the lick is done by.
All right, we'll get a motion to approve the
Who
consent.
has that grant package?
John, who's got the grant package?
Actually, Todd has the whole package. I've got it in basically the blanks.
Can we get that digital?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll
Sure.
get to work on it.
Just
Thank
give it to
you.
me and I'll get it.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.